Alright, so our app right now is functionally done, but let's add some styling to it to make it look a bit better. So first off, I'm going to start by styling the body, and I'll just give it a background color of black. That's background dash color, black, and now you can't see our text, but I'll quickly change that, the color, and change that to white. So I kind of like these inverted colors here with the black and white. I think it looks a bit nicer. Looks kind of eerie. And then when we get to styling the map, I'll make it fit in nicely as well by making the map a bit darker as well, and then adding a bit of a fade between this black here and the map. So let's get to that right now actually. So if we expand our JSON section here, sorry, our JavaScript section, and go into map options, this will be adding some extra information and styles to our map to make it look a bit better. So the first thing I'm going to do is disable the default UI. So that's things like, I believe these icons here, and then also these as well, I think will be disabled so you won't see them. So let's type in disable default UI. We'll set that to true. And you can see that those icons and stuff are all gone now. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add some styles. So for styles, we have to add an array, and this array will contain the styles object, whose value is another array of objects. So basically, we have an array that has an object inside of it with the key or name of stylers, which holds an array of multiple objects, and it's these multiple objects that will hold the information to style our map. So let me just show you what I mean, because it's kind of hard to understand if I just say it. So we have this set to an array, and inside of that we have an object, just like that. Then the one key for that object is stylers, which has a value set to another array. And inside this array is where we'll have multiple objects like this, each of which will hold different key value pairs for styling our map. So I'm going to zoom out and let's actually head over to the reference. So Google Maps API reference, so you can just do a Google search for that, and then it should be the first link here. And here you can find the thing that we're looking at. So if we scroll down to the map options, should be somewhere here. So map options, properties. So you can see here's the default disable default UI that we just used as well. And let's scroll down to the styles, which is right here. So you can see it contains an array. So let's just click on this here to get some more information. And we're using the stylers property, which is an array of objects. So let's go to the style reference where we can get more information on how to style our map. So here you can do stuff like change the color, saturation, and all sorts of stuff. So you can just read through this and add your own styles if you want, or you can just follow along and copy what I do. So it's up to you. So I'm going to go back into our app now and then start adding our styles. So I'm going to start with the hue, and we'll give that a value of FF1A00. And let's do something else too. Let's invert the lightness. We'll do invert underscore lightness, and we'll set that equal to true. So we're just starting to look kind of cool here, as you can see. So I encourage you again to just play along, play around with your own colors and your own properties again, using this reference here for some more information on the things you can edit. And so we have hue, invert lightness. Let's see, let's change the saturation as well. And let me just zoom in for you actually, so you can get a better look of what I'm typing here. So saturation, and let's make that -100. Alright, let's see what else we can add. Let's do one more and change the lightness. And let's give that a value of 25 and see how that looks. Alright. Maybe we'll add one more. Gamma. oops, gamma, give that a value of 0.5. Alright, I think that looks good. I think that's it for the styles. So another thing I want to add is a gradient to our map or to our app, so that there's not just a sudden abrupt end here or a sudden abrupt line between this black section here and then our map. I want to kind of fade in between here. So I'm going to do that with the div element. So let's open up our HTML here. And right below our main element and above our map element, I'm going to add another div. And I'll give it an ID of overlay so that we can style it using that ID. And we'll close off that div tag. Alright, let's expand this and let's add the styles for it right here. So overlay. So let's give it first a width of 100%. And let's give it a height. Let's give it a height of 90%. Go to position of absolute. So an absolute element, so it's positioned relative to the first positioned non-static ancestor element. So in this case, it's relative to the body element. So this just lets us position it with the top and left attributes. So we'll give it a top of 40%. So that's 40%. Sorry, oh, what am I typing here? 40%. So that's 40% pushed down from the top of this application here, the top of the body. And we'll give it a left of 0, so it's flush all the way up against the left of the body here. And let's also give it a Z index. Let's give it a Z index of just 3, just to make sure it's on top of all the other elements, because that's what we want. We don't want it hidden behind the map or behind the main div. And lastly, and the most important part, is the background. So we want to make it a linear gradient. So it's going to fade from solid black to transparent. And we're going to do that with the RG. Sorry, it's RGBA. Going to give it 0, 0, 0, and then 0. So this last value here is the alpha channel. So we have the A. So 0 makes it completely transparent. And let's go back here. So we almost have it right, except let's not make it so far from the top. Let's see if we can give it a value of maybe 35. 30 looks good. So now we have the gradient over top of this map here, which fades from solid black to transparent. So now it's like a nice smooth transition, and it gives it kind of an eerie look as well. And another thing I want to do is to get rid of this scrolling here. We're gonna change the overflow property on the body. So I believe we can do that with overflow Y, or the Y direction, and we'll give that a value of hidden, and that gets rid of the scroll bar. Perfect. So I'll see you in the next lecture. That's it for now. We're pretty much done here. And you can see it looks kind of cool. We added some cool styles to the map, inverted the colors. So I encourage you again to play around with the styles and play around with any of the CSS as well to give this your own touch. And I'll see you in the next lecture.